Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. It's time for the best football segment we do every single week. This is the Football G-Spot with Jon Gruden and Greg Olsen.
Got me feeling icy.
I love football. Knock on wood if you're with me, everybody.
Can I finish my point?
All right, welcome, guys. Back from the G-Spot. Coach, you know, we had a great segment, which for 2 seasons TV coach guys, I thought was really disappointing that we were having this great J.J. McCarthy segment at the commercial break. I thought we were both all professionals in this room, and we'd wait till we were recording to discuss. But Greg, you were there. You were talking about it. What are we going to do now? Everyone's dumping on JJ. I won't do it. I have loyalty for Michigan. The guy, I've never seen a quarterback get attacked who's only played, 7 or 8 games in his career. Are you ready to throw this guy in a trash bag like the rest of the world after watching him?
No, I mean, it was only his sixth career start yesterday at Lambeau. And as we said during the broadcast, like, there's 2 elements to this, right? There's the one that, hey, this guy's played 6 games. And of course there's going to be learning curve, there's going to be struggles, there's going to be ups and downs. And he's got a great coach in Kevin O'Connell, who seems to have brought out the best in pretty much every quarterback that he's worked with in his time in Minnesota, right? So I don't think we just cast him aside and say it's over, have to move on to somebody else. But on the other side of it, like, this is a team last year that won 14 games. This is an offense with, Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, and an offensive line that has been banged up, and an offensive play caller. Like, there's a lot of pieces here to maybe you're not a 14-win offense like you were last year, but certainly better than what we've seen. So I think the criticism is warranted. I think the criticism in this league, we all know, everyone knows what they sign up for, but I think it's too early to say he can't do it. I do think there needs to be a lot of growth. There needs to be improvement. I think this week in Seattle, if I'm Kevin O'Connell and we're going to be at the game, like, I think you just say, forget it. Like, we're running our offense, and he can either do it or he can't. We're not going to protect him. We're not going to go heavy run. We're not going to just kneel on the ball. We are going to run our offense the way we've run it for the last couple of years with whoever was at quarterback, and we're going to let this guy just rip it. And if he throws 5 picks, so be it. But I almost think they got to take the training wheels off and just say, let's figure out if this kid can play, and let him play in an offense where we kind of let him rip it.
And now, Coach, I assume this was O'Connell's draft pick, right? I mean, he's the one, he was there. It had to be his draft pick. If you're the coach in this situation and you have a quarterback who's not doing it and these historically bad numbers, how long do you stick with him?
Well, you don't have a choice right now. It looks like Carson Wentz is hurt. I don't know who their backup would be. This is going to be a tough process. It is always with a young quarterback. I remember going through this with Brett Favre when we were in Green Bay in 1992. There were some peaks and there were some valleys. The big thing with JJ is he's just got to play the position better. And I'm talking about the little things. They had 8 false starts in 1 game. The communication at the line of scrimmage has to get better. He's got to avoid the interceptions and the negative plays. And I learned from Bill Walsh a long time ago, we will not save a bad idea at any position. He's got to show some improvement. His ball security has to be better. His at the line of scrimmage mechanics have to be better. And they got to start putting some points on the board and competing, because the one thing Greg didn't say is they do still have a good defense that can keep you in games. And the Chicago Bears have a young quarterback who's making progress. Coach O'Connell's got to do a better job. He's got to take it upon himself to deliver a game plan that really promotes his success. They need McCarthy to play well in front of his teammates. That's the most important thing.
And reading into young quarterbacks, there was some ridiculous stat, I don't have it in front of me, that Cleveland Brown quarterbacks, their first start were like 0-748. Shedeur comes in with this circus around him and beats up on the Raiders. Your Raiders are pathetic, Coach. Absolutely pathetic. Can't win. Maybe the worst team in the league. You said you wanted to put a fork in your eyes watching them. Can you read anything into Shedeur, who, by the way, after the game, I don't know if we have this clip, he kind of did his version of, we're talking about practice? Imagine a year of practice. I'll be dangerous. What did we think of Shedeur's first start, Coach?
Well, I would pump the brakes on that a little bit. The throw we keep watching was against an all-out blitz. The Browns don't even pick up the blitz. It's a horrible blitz by the Raiders because they don't contain a right-handed quarterback. They let him out to his right. He made a great throw. But I'm not going to jump off the table yet because he threw a bubble screen for a 70-yard touchdown against the worst entry I've ever seen on defense. They relied on the Wildcat. They relied on their defense to win that game yesterday. And you're right, that was as bad a Raider performance on offense as I've ever seen. But Shedeur did get the win, but I don't think those other 17 or 18 quarterbacks that lost faced a team that played that poorly. That was not a good play by the Raiders yesterday.
Now, by the way, I should preface it. I love Shedeur. He was my number one quarterback I liked out of college. Obviously, the slip made me think. I think he's pretty good. Greg, I don't know if you guys see any highlights. What the throw he made scrambling out? I assume you're talking about the bubble. The throw that the guy got tackled at the 1 was a pretty impressive throw. Greg?
Yeah, I only caught the highlights. I was traveling back from Green Bay, but obviously, listen, you win in this league, you win in this league. And yes, the Raiders are pathetically bad. And there's a lot of layers to what's going on with Vegas and the Raiders, and they're firing coaches every other week. So certainly if you're going to make your NFL debut as a rookie, that's how you draw it up, right? He didn't play Seattle or the Rams or, one of those teams where, could have been pretty ugly. But you don't apologize for who you play in the NFL. You don't make the schedule. He doesn't determine which game he starts and which games he doesn't. So you give credit where credit's due. I like Shedeur coming out of college too. I think the physical skill set, the size, the arm strength, he's athletic. You can see him there, move out of the pocket and whatnot. So there are some physical qualities there that I think you can build with. The part that makes me hesitate, without being in the building, without being at practice, as bad as things were in Cleveland, that it took this long for them to turn it over to him, and it really came from a Dylan Gabriel injury, is pretty much the story, that they turned to him. And there could be a million reasons why Kevin Stefanski waited so long, but those are always the things in the back of my mind that say, okay, there's usually reasons for that. Guys don't sit the quarterback who could win on the bench out of just principle. So there's typically reasons for it. So listen, I hope he does well. I hope they continue to win. Cleveland needs to find their quarterback. They've been searching for 2 decades. So if it's Shedeur Sanders, then great.
We had a lot of what I would say kind of surprising game flows results. So pretender, contender. We'll start with the Eagles, who I think was the Super Bowl champion. 21-point lead, blows it in a shocking collapse, really, to the Cowboys. We read into this 1 week alarm. Greg, what'd you think?
I've always said I still think, no matter the ups and downs and the stories and the drama that comes out of Philly, until someone proves in the playoffs in a 1-game series each week that somebody can beat them, they're still, in my mind, up there. And, now I have Seattle in there. I have the Rams in there. I think that's kind of the class of the NFC for the most part. But yeah, that was a shocking loss. I looked down right after our game ended and they were down 21 blank, and it seemed like the game had just started. And then, you're traveling home and it turns to 21-7, and then the Cowboys just start creeping in. And it was not so much that Dallas's offense found their way and made the big plays, and George Pickens has been incredible for Dallas. I mean, what a pickup that he's been in Dallas. But it's really the story of the defense since they've come off the bye. They add Quinnen Williams, they add some of these pieces, they're getting healthy. That defense is significantly better these last 2 weeks. Now, one of them was against the Raiders, right? So we're putting an asterisk next to that. But against the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champs, that Dallas defense has gotten a lot better to blank them the second, third, and fourth quarter combined to just have a chance for the offense to come back. So, yeah, that was a really kind of strange loss for Philly, but Dallas is sneaky, and the offense is going to keep them competitive in pretty much every game. And if that defense, we said this weeks ago, Dave, on this show, if that defense could just be average, they're going to win a lot of games. And it seems like that's where they're starting to move.
Coach, I got a different one for you. 2 teams that won, but I would say were a little bit alarming in the way they won, and that would be the Detroit Lions, who needed overtime to beat the Chicago Bears at home. And then if you go look at the Ravens, they were kind of in a rock fight. Everyone's just waiting for the Ravens. This Ravens team to explode, and they're playing the Jets, and it looks like they're struggling for every cent. What one of those teams do you think is more fool's gold right now? Or are you still sold on both of them, Lions and Ravens?
I'm a little more concerned with the Lions. I feel the Ravens have corrected their defense in the last 5 games. They're only giving up 15 points a game. Lamar has been hurt, missed some practice time. I don't have any question that the offense will improve, although I will agree with you. It was an ugly game yesterday, but I'm like that Johnny Cash song. I hear that train a-rolling. It's rolling down the bend. I feel the Ravens have just won 5 straight, and they're in first place in the North. They were 1-5, and they have a Super Bowl champion coach. The Lions, changing play callers, losing Sam Laporta. I don't like their defense right now. They give up a lot of plays. They look a little bit like they did last year. They rely on Jared Goff to make every play. And their offensive line does struggle at times. They've been inconsistent. I'm a little more worried about the Lions, given the fact I like Green Bay and Chicago's progress a little bit more.
All right, so we got this video that you guys got to see, and I love these player coach videos. This is high school football in Mississippi. State final, I believe. Guys running, let's play the video. Guys running out of bounds. Coach looks like he takes a shot at this guy as he's going out of bounds here. Bam, a little arm there. Player goes down. Then there's a fight with the coaches and the player on the sideline after. Here it is again. He's going to the sideline. Looks like he's going to go right through. The coach gives him a little forearm shiver, and boom, down he goes. I don't know if we have a report. Brandon Walker posted, people are saying the coach is going to be fired. He's done with his career. Coach, have you ever delivered a forearm shiver to a guy running by you? And what do you think the punishment should be for this, if any?
I haven't done that, Dave. I've been frustrated many a time, though. I saw Woody Hayes do something like that in a bowl game against Clemson years ago. That is uncalled for. I don't blame a coach, though, for sticking his arms out to protect himself if someone's
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. I got a little bit to
I don't know
say.
if it was that type of protection.
So-
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people looking into that.
So the rumor is the first coach right there is actually an injured player that was dressed like the coaches that day.
Okay. That
That changes it.
That changes everything. That's a grown-looking man who's an injured player.
That guy was a high school kid.
Yeah, that's what I said. And then, but the second coach that took off his headphones, that is an actual coach. So this right here, I believe, is an injured player.
He does look youthful in the face.
But
That's not a player.
That's what I said. Maybe they're trying to protect the coach. I don't know. But
By the way, he knew he did something bad. He tried to skirt out of there before the fight started, if you notice.
Next thing we're going to say is it's artificial intelligence. Someone made this video. We don't know who this person is. It's a 47-year-old player of some kind.
Oh, okay. If it's a player, it's a problem now, Coach. Just a second ago, you had every coach throwing forearm shivers.
I'm
Greg, you're a youth sports guy. It's a little bit older, but what do you think the punishment here is?
If that's a coach, he needs to lose his job. And listen, I have been on many sidelines from Pop Warner to Friday night at our high school state championship that we lost. And you could be frustrated. You could hate the other team. The other kids could be talking trash, and you cannot put your hands on the opposing players. And I don't care if it's the NFL, like an NFL player runs to the sideline. A coach cannot put their hands on another player. Now, we've all been there where you kind of grab a guy and you stop him from running off.
What about Big Dom?
Big Dom put his hands on guys and got kicked out of the game. You just can't. I called that game when Big Dom got kicked out against the 49ers. It was Dre Greenlaw, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think
Can we pull that clip up? I'd like to hear Olsen's comment.
Oh, we got Gruden pulling up clips now.
Oh, yeah. If we should have had that ready. What did you say in real time when Big Dom did it?
That's a really good question. All I do remember, though, is when they escorted him out. I mean, I think oh God, what did I say? Like something along the lines, because he was getting like a standing ovation. I mean, the fans were loving it because I believe it was in Philly. Man, I can't remember the exact details of it, but it was years ago, and I think we were just excited. All right, here we go.
That's it. Let's play it. Do we have the sound?
No sound.
Can't run
We can't,
sound.
we can't get sound.
That kind
I'm
of
sure my
now Big Tom gets attacked right there.
Yeah,
Big
it's
Dom gets
self-defense.
a finger in the face and he shoves him. But I'll tell you what, he walked out of that stadium. He's never buying a beer, a drink, a dinner ever in Philly. That dude is a legend. And that night, right or wrong, he walked out of that stadium to a massive ovation.
He did get attacked first. All right, last thing, we'll just let you go. But how about those New England Patriots? Best record in the league. 10-2, standing alone. When you look at the standings in the league, there's nobody else on a platform like them. Drake May started slow yesterday. Didn't have the best start. Kind of looked like he forgot what time kickoff was. Some really odd throws. Then he kicked it into gear. Couple injuries. They don't seem like they were that serious. And a win is a win is a win this league. I'll let you guys both have a minute to sing the praises of the New England Patriots. I'll start with you, Coach. How good is this team?
They're good. They're going to have to prove it, though, by beating some teams that actually have winning records. They have to do that. But I like the fact that they can score on defense. Marcus Jones made a big play, and their kicker. They have a rookie kicker, and this kid has hit 15 out of 16, 4 for 4 yesterday. You better watch out for this team. They got a lot of young guys that have confidence.
Greg?
Yeah, I said this earlier about Shedeur. I know everyone's killing them about their schedule and the win, teams that have below 500 records and all that. But this is the NFL. This is not college football. You don't one team doesn't play in the SEC and one team play in the MAC, right? Like everyone is playing some version of the same group of teams, and you don't control. Yes, they were the fourth. They got the fourth seed in the division kind of schedule as it turns. But that's the nature of the business. You play who you play. It is going to get more difficult when they get to the playoffs. They're going to start playing real teams, and we'll figure out what it looks like. But along the way, you never apologize for winning in the NFL. You never apologize for how you win. Vrabel is clearly coach of the year. And at this rate, I think Drake we said this a couple weeks ago, he's in the MVP conversation. Him, Stafford seem to be the two guys in my mind that are leading the pack as of this point. But they deserve a lot of credit. I hate it. I like that they're winning. You become exhausting, but I get.
Yeah, I mean, a Rams-Patriots Super Bowl would start being one of the more underrated Super Bowl matchups. It would be the third time these teams have met in the Super Bowl. Off the top, I'm trying to think who would have more Super Bowl matchups than that. That's a lot. So, thank you guys as always. Great to see. It's always great to live in a world. Well, you know what? Before we go, I'll let you do one more thing. Give your pick, Michigan, Ohio State. The big game now. Michigan, obviously, 4 years in a row. We'll see if you guys have any guts. Greg, who you got?
Ohio State.
Boring. Coach?
Well, since Ohio State really has nothing to play for because they are undefeated, I like Michigan in the big house, but just because you're on this call with me, I'm taking the Buckeyes, man.
All right. Well, I'll keep you. And that is.
Let me ask you this, Dave. Well, let me ask you this, because it feels like I don't know what we're doing up against the break here, but we'll make it. You guys can make it up in the later segment. I've heard you a million times over the years say when like the Patriots lose a game in November, like back in the day with Brady and them, we don't worry about meaningless games. We're only winning for Super Bowls. Why are you the opposite with Michigan? Like, why is it more important that Michigan wins a meaningless game at the end of the season, but Ohio State wins the Natty?
Right. Well, I mean, that's such a professional, dumb question. First of all, last year was the first year the playoff existed. So the last game always mattered. If you didn't win the last game, you don't advance. So last year was an aberration. We never even had the playoff. Michigan, Ohio State always was the game. If you don't win that game, your season's over. So that didn't exist. You had to beat Ohio State. Ohio State had to beat Michigan. We have the playoff. Now this year, that's what I've started off. If Ohio State people want to say this game doesn't matter, that's fine. They should just say it beforehand. Michigan wins, they're in the playoffs. So this is clearly a very
If Ohio State loses, though, they're in the playoffs, no?
Correct. So that is, yes. So I am asking Ohio State fans before the game, just tell me
Would
whether
you rather win this game or win the national title?
You gotta win both.
What would you rather?
You gotta win both. One
Would you rather last year be Michigan or be Ohio State?
Oh, last year I would rather be Michigan.
Good God.
That's a preposterous. That is ridiculous.
No
You'd
doubt.
rather not win the national title?
Ohio State had a hollow, empty
Absurd.
national title.
Absurd.
That is
And
an
hollow.
Brandon Walker, will you fix
Wait,
it?
play the clip.
I've tried, Greg. This is absurd.
No, play the Ohio. Play that video that I have. Austin, get the video of the two Ohio State guys that work for us. The fat boy, Fat Ev, in Ohio State. Get those videos up right now. Let them see what they said at the end of the game. Get that up. Don't let them go to break. We'll make it up on the other time. Get that clip up. I tweeted it out. Get that clip up of them talking and show what is. You want to talk revisionist history. These two guys are sitting there saying they knew they were going to playoffs. We're dead. The fire Ryan dead.
Oh, I'm not debating that
I don't
Ohio
care
State
what
people
they
said
do
that.
the rest of the season.
I'm not
we have to
debating
beat
that.
Michigan. This is rivalry. This is blood. This is 100 years of feud. And if it doesn't matter to you, I'm fine. I just want the Ohio State crowd to say it before the game. I don't want to hear them, oh, we beat Michigan if they don't care about it. Sit your guys. Rest your guys. Get ready for the playoffs. If that's the new world we want to live in, Gregory, we can live in that world. But
I'm not an Ohio State guy.
before the
I'm
game.
not an Ohio State
Don't
guy.
try to change it after. That's all I'm asking.
I'm just saying if the goal should be to win Super Bowls and the goal should be to win national titles.
Agreed.
That is the only thing that matters.
Do you admit that when you have 100 years of in order to win the national title, you have to beat Ohio State or they have to beat Michigan? Last year, it definitely was like a shift because of this playoff. So it's like, oh, wait, you can lose this game and still, but that's brand new. And last year, nobody thought about it. Now we are in a new era, year 2 of the playoff. So maybe the 150 years of history and Woody Hayes rolling
Right,
around.
but I asked you who you'd rather be last year, and you chose not to be the team that won the national championship.
Correct, last year.
You're not making sense, man.
I am making sense. The year that Michigan won the national championship 2 years ago, we beat Ohio State, then we went to the Rose Bowl, beat Nick Saban, put him in a retirement home, then won the national championship. That's what you want. You want all the eggs. Last year, though, it's like it didn't feel real because the new national championship was brand new. So nobody's thinking playoffs and sneaking in. It's Ohio State had a class. You had Jack Sawyer, and you got guys, Gruden. He's fawning over the quarterback there. He loves these guys. But you know what? They go to sleep on a bed of lies because they all came back and they said the only reason we're coming back
Greg.
for year 4 is to beat Michigan. That's literally what Jack Sawyer said. And then he's crying. He had tears
I know, they
rolling
had to
down
settle
his,
for the national championship.
No,
That
he
was
had
unfortunate.
tears rolling down his eyes. Why?
That was unfortunate. Coach, they had to settle for a national title. That was
Exactly. You know what, Greg? Rivalries, I think Dave needs to agree with this. Rivalries have been diminished in college football. And now Michigan, Ohio State, you just have to say it, Dave. It's not as important. I mean, I grew up, it was always Oklahoma, Nebraska on Thanksgiving, Pitt and Penn State, Texas A&M, USC, UCLA, Notre Dame, USC. No one cares anymore about this Michigan, Ohio State game except you. And you're just a grouchy man. That's
Do you have it? Did they just say we can or can't run it?
We cannot. I'm getting a thumbs
Well,
up.
we have it without. Try to get that. Fine. We won't run it
Dave
because
didn't
I put
listen at all.
music to it. I put Billy Joel's Pressure song to it. But that's fine. If I'm saying if we want to say the rivalries don't matter and Michigan won the last 4 games that mattered in this rivalry, that's fine. Fine. Then Michigan won the rivalry and it's done. Fine.
if the last thing I'll say, say the Patriots win the division and they lose to the Bills in the divisional round or however, was it worth winning the division?
No,
Or would
of
you
course
rather
not. But the
advance?
NFL and college football are 2 different animals. Now it's becoming more of a similar animal, but that's brand new.
But we got to live in today. It's not 1875 anymore.
And that is why, Gregory, I am saying Ohio State, if they want to say the game doesn't matter, say it now and I can live with it. I just don't want them to win and act like it's a rivalry. It's important to me. It's still important to me. But if it's not important to the people of Ohio, just say it. That's all.